Hi, I'm Wild Bill, Special Affairs Correspondent for Redbeard Pirate Radio, and today on the 2nd of February 2023, I'd like to talk to you about choreography. This is an addendum to my Your Fighting Arts is Wrong series. So before we begin, first of all, I'd like to get two definitions out of the way. One is wushu, which in Chinese means fighting style or fighting styles and can be interpreted as military practices, and Wu Lin, which are, in Chinese again, warriors, fighters, fighting systems students, and masters. And now to speak on choreography. When does wushu become dance? When does dance become wushu? And why are they both kung fu? To teach a tactical fighting style, or almost any other skill or craft, the instructor must present it in an organized fashion so that all students start on a level playing field, so they can compare the evidence of their senses with the concepts and styles of execution. Strikes, blocks, combinations, deceptions, truths. It's one thing to demonstrate power, but it takes explanation to communicate to others the why and whereof. Throwing a punch without knowing how to make a fist, grappling out of passion rather than as a strategic decision, kicking yourself off balance, giving your center to the enemy. The instructor dissuades you from those mistakes, teaches, corrects, demonstrates in an easily repeatable fashion. The instructor is also an archivist. He or she crystallizes the method into quantifiable instruction. Every student can master the craft, its skill set. To this end, the instructor creates patterns, katas, inculcating in the student a sense of belonging to the craft. The student realizes that I can master this. Here's the means. If I do this enough, I can learn that skill. The instructor is saying, in effect, here's how to move, here's why. Practice the motion, make it second nature. When you need it, it will be ready. In a word, choreography. On the other side of the kung fu coin is the dancer. Dancers, educated dancers, not freestyle types like me, well understand what happens when the body wants to communicate something unfamiliar, unpracticed. You can hurt your body that way, especially if you allow passion to determine its dynamic presence. Practice the motion. Make it second nature. When you need it, it will be ready. In a word, choreography. In time, the educated dancer comes to understand much of what the wushu student has learned, but for different reasons. The approaches are radically different, philosophically speaking, but physically quite similar. To do thus, the body must move so, and the body needs to practice the movement so it is not confused in the moment. There is a serious difference between dance and wushu, of course. The wushu craftsman works with energy, how to communicate, translate, and transmit the appropriate amount of force to his or her opponent, to disentangle yourself from his clutch, to knock him down if no other option remains, to control him on the ground, to stop short of crippling or killing. Choreography teaches the manner, but the amount is something gained after experimentation and comparison, in a dojo, under expert supervision. I recommend to everyone that they take an introductory judo class from a reputable instructor. Judo specializes in teaching you how to fall without hurting yourself. Think about that as a life lesson. The dancer works with motion, communication by means of motion, happiness, sadness, anxiety, reward, recovery, renewal. The motion wants the opposite of what wushu wants. The dancer tries to avoid transmitting energy. The work done is meant for the purpose of visual communication, looking beautiful, not transmitting physical energy. Again, choreography teaches the manner, but the amount is something gained after experimentation and comparison. I recommend taking at least one dance course. It'll give you the basics from which you can begin the process of understanding. If the dancer studies transmission of force, or the Wu Lin begins to understand how important non physical communication can be, the dancer becomes a warrior, and the warrior becomes a dancer. Once that happens, the student has moved beyond his or her craft and has become an artist. Now, at last, all means of expression are available. At that moment, you understand what Kung Fu means. Kung Fu is your thing, as the hippies called it. Cooking, sewing, making, breaking, farming, fishing, practice at the law, and yes, dancing and wushu. When an instructor tells you your Kung Fu is getting better, he or she refers to your approach to life through the medium of your area of expertise. To be called a Kung Fu master is being praised for your integration of your area of expertise with the whole of your life presence. For years, I thought I was a particularly untalented wushu student, always trying to reinvent the wheel. Worst karate student ever. When I started dancing, I felt exactly the same. Worst dancer ever. Now, I feel that reinventing the wheel was crucial to understanding. I created a new system of choreography. I turned karate into dance and dance into karate. I practice the motions, build, even retain, muscle memory as before, but the new motions merely remind me of the potential. What changed was the meaning. I am not training to fight. I am maintaining as much of my dwindling ability as possible, mutating what remains into a less stressful form. Having karate behind dance, I make connections I would not have made otherwise. I no longer desire to transmit energy. I'm not capable of it, but I can express emotion through motion, a fusion of ideas, a fresh choreography from which to understand new and novel things. Why bother at this late date? Got to keep swimming, forging ahead. Fish that stops moving is probably dead. And I would like to say about wisdom, it can't be taught. It is the sculptor's chisel. This is Wild Bill for Redbeard Pirate Radio, 2nd of February, 2023.